Hey everybody, how's it going? I have been asked dozens of times over the last couple of months by so many folks in comments, emails, texts, personal messages, private messages, whatever, about the impending strike. I never saw it as impending because I knew it wasn't going to happen, and it's not going to happen. As of yesterday, this is December 2nd, and as of yesterday, I was down at the UP office talking to some of the managers in the train department there. I guess the UTU is still the only one as of yesterday who hadn't signed on. It is impossible to get into the details of why I looked at things the way I do, and without getting into politics. And I'm not going to get into politics on this channel. I'm going to do a video about this over on my other channel, MotoPoet59, if you want to go over there and look at that. But simply put, the government wasn't going to allow this to happen. And I could say, especially right now, in the shape the economy's in, which is true, they're not going to allow that to happen. The economy's in dire straits right now, and something like that would certainly finish it off. Historically, all the way back into the Southern Pacific days, when this kind of thing was going on, our contracts, the entire 40 years that I worked at the railroad, we never had a contract signed on time. The contracts were always for 4 years at a time, and it was always 5 or 6 years before we got a new contract. Two different times. Once we called a strike, and we were out for about 6 hours, and they called everybody back to work. That was during the Clinton administration. It was 92 or 94, I can't remember now. And they called everybody back to work and went into another cooling off period, and things got settled. And the other time, the company actually locked us out for 1 day. And it wasn't because of the signal department. Our guys had already signed off. And I don't remember if it was maintenance away or operating. I can't remember now who it was that was holding out. The company locked us all out. When the guys showed up to work in the morning, they were just sent home. I was on jury duty when that happened, so I didn't know anything about it until that evening. No cell phones way back then. But no, the government's not going to let that happen. When they did some people I've talked to have compared it to the air controller strike back in the 80s. And the difference was that the government, the military, National Guard, and all that, they had plenty of air traffic controllers that they could put to work to alleviate that situation. They don't have any railroaders. So that's not something that they can do. So they have to leave in place the people who are running the railroads right now, and they're not going to allow that. Even back then, the government always stepped in and said, this is the way we're going to do things, and we don't care if you like it. So that's it in a nutshell. As I said, I'm not going to get political. I'll do that on the other channel, and it's not all that political, but there are always politics involved in an industry as important to the survival of the nation as the railroad. There's always going to be politics involved, and the government, no matter which side's in charge or which side's running things, it doesn't matter. The government's not going to let that happen. They will always do cooling off periods, then another, and then they'll arbitrate, then they'll do this, and they'll do that, and they'll do the other, and things will get settled. I wouldn't be surprised to find that the UTU has signed on today. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I never saw it as impending. I just saw more impending arbitration, more impending cooling off periods, and impending government intervention. And that's just the way it is. I don't really feel one way or another about it. I'm not a rah-rah union guy, and I'm not a rah-rah company guy. It was my job. I enjoyed it. I have no regrets of working there, and I'm not one of these people who goes around deriding the railroad, because that's not the way I looked at my career, and everybody knows that. So I'm actually kind of objective where these things are concerned. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. If you have anything to say, let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content, and we will see you all later.